Howdy, folks, and welcome to episode 207. What's cooking for the summer? We're gonna be cussing and discussing what it looks like we're gonna be doing over the next couple of months. And Mr. Reese is back from his trip, and I've got some photos to share that he sent me. And if he wants to add any, he's more than welcome to. Um, but as always, we're going to start off with letting everybody know that you can go over to wiley-games.com and pick up your copy of your favorite genre of Fistful of Lead, whether it be Reloaded version 2, Horse and Musket version 2, Galactic Heroes version 2, Core, what have you. It's all there over at wiley-games.com. And in fact, I'm going to get a chance to head over there to Wiley HQ tomorrow and do some gaming with Jay and the group. So, yeah, check it out. You'll see that we've got live. Uh, we've got it live to where you see the messages as they pop up on screen, so you don't have to watch them pop up on YouTube if you don't want to. You can see them right there. Telemachus comes in hot with, you might be a gamer if the sense of irony is thick enough you could cut it with a knife when you're telling your children to clean up their toys. Very true. And Chris Long A is here. He says, "Hey ho all, how you doing, Chris Long?" As we have been saying for the last couple of weeks, your stuff is amazing. That's your 6 millimeter files are stupendous. They are quite nice. So uh, McMurray has joined us. How you doing, sir?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Doing well. Doing well. Um, are you home yet, or are you still driving?
I am a block and a half away.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Now, starting next week, you will not be joining us for a couple of weeks.
Correct. Yeah, I'll be out for a while. It's all right. It's good.
Yeah, well, you'll be training and leading the youth of America.
We will be mentoring, not leading. They get to
There you
lead.
go.
I'm kind of
There
there
you
to
go.
make sure nobody dies and they don't do anything that stupid. Slash, show them how to do more fun stuff.
Right.
Yes.
So,
It'll be good.
yeah.
Bring your
Um,
Gatorade coolers.
yeah.
Bring my what?
Your Gatorade cooler.
Why?
Oh, various reasons.
I'm not hiking with a Gatorade cooler. Have you lost your fucking mind?
So, anywho, um, we've got so that's one of the things McMurray is doing this summer is mentoring and training the youth of
Correct.
America. Um, Reese is winding down from his trip to Hawaii, and I'm going to be getting a crap ton of gaming in because I will already in the next 3 days I will have I will have had two. Uh, Sorry about that. Get in here and hush.
In the next 2 days, you'll have two whats?
In the next 3 days, I'll have two gaming sessions.
Oh, there you
One
go.
over at
Nice.
Wiley HQ and one over at my buddy Joel's house. So it'll be a good time. Not sure what we're playing over at Wiley's,
For
but
five in this ACW game slash scenario that I'm doing at Daikon.
okay.
It's a new rule set to convention gaming for me, but it's David Manley's stuff. It's a great rule set. We've been having a good time. Everybody's been enjoying it. So at this point in time, we're just tweaking victory points and stuff like that. So
Outstanding. Outstanding.
it's good. So
And we lost him. He must have walked into his house. Um, so Nord is with us. He says, "All right, I hath arrived, so the party can get started. How are you scamps doing tonight? Doing pretty good." He says, "McMurray, I always carry 3 bottles of water when I go walking. I usually go walking for 2 hours and 6 miles." Bunkhouse is in. Hey, Dougie, how you doing, buddy? Good evening, everyone. How you doing, sir? Glad you could make it. Yeah, hopefully you walked through the door and not through the wall. That could be painful. That could be painful. And he's back.
sorry, it just kind of randomly dinged in my pocket and said something has gone wrong.
It happens. It happens.
I don't know
We-
where I was in that long-winded rant, but
that you got David Manley game being played for your convention game at Daikon, and you've got it pretty well figured out. You're just working on victory points and whatnot.
yes, because we had one game come down to just kind of a narrow Confederate jumping over the end line, and then one was about to be the same thing, and 2 Union 90-day gunboats decided that it would be better if they tried to ram, which is pretty risky business in the 1860s when you don't have a ram bow.
Right.
But it worked for them, which is they needed because it was not going well. But yeah, so it should be fun. Everybody so far who's played it has had a good time, hasn't had much trouble picking up the rules. So here's to hoping, right? Should
Yep.
be just fine.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Oh, it'll be good. If not, I'm still going to play, 5 or 6 other good games this weekend. So I don't mind. To be honest with you, if everybody's gone by the time my game comes around, that's still perfectly fine with me. I jumped in on the late Saturday night slot. So there was only myself and one other guy signed up for it. But
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yes, Nord, I am doing much better. I'm still on my antibiotics. I got to finish them out because I'm not one of these people that says, "Oh, I feel better. I'm not going to take any more," because that's how you get super germs. So
what's going on, Nord? Good to hear from you.
Telemachus says, "Must be that newfangled electronics." Yeah, that normally happens when you go from cell tower to home network. The handoff isn't nice and clean sometimes. And then Nord says, "Hey McMurray, have you ever delved into the American Revolutionary War as far as gaming and miniature painting?"
I have on a couple of different fronts, to be honest with you. In terms of gaming, I've played the Little Wars TV ACW or AWI rules a fair amount. Live Free or Die. Painting, yes, on the American outdoorsman side of things. In terms of irregulars and militia, because painting AWI uniforms, especially in 28, is not fun, at least for me. And then actually a couple weeks ago, I played 1 hour skirmish with some AWI guys. That was pretty fun.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. The only AWI gaming I have ever done was Commands and Colors Tricon.
There you
That's
go. So,
about it.
For me, it's Fistful of Lead, Horse and Musket.
Now I've done quite a bit of French and Indian War. 7 Years' War North America with Chris Clucky.
Right.
Because who wouldn't? His stuff is, as we've said many times, his stuff is amazing. Um, yeah, if you want to check out some of his stuff, check out was it Cluckamuck?
Yes, that is his blog.
Yeah.
It hasn't been updated in a long time, but it's still very beautiful to look at.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it's still all the
absolutely.
same stuff.
Yeah,
All the pictures are.
yeah,
Honestly, if anything, the pictures might be better than the collection now because he's been playing the dog snot out of it for the last long chunk of times.
He does take a very good care of them and touch them up and add to it quite frequently.
That's
yes,
fair.
yeah. So Nord says he's going to pull the trigger and get some Pendrac and 10 millimeter stuff. He wants to start with the 16th and 17th Light Dragoons. I plan to get a few more packs, but not sure what yet. There you go.
Nice. Outstanding.
And he's played Volley and Bayonet with Frank Chadwick for the AWI a few times. I've got an 8 out of the 10 battles of the American Revolution series, which is a lot of fun. I'm about to finish Monmouth. Very cool. Very cool. I know almost as little as I know about the American Civil War, I know even less about the American War of Independence.
That happens.
I know that there was the battle at the battles of Lexington and Concord, and there was the Battle of Yorktown. I think there was Saratoga Springs in there and Ticonderoga.
Breeds Hill and Bunker Hill.
Oh yeah, Breeds Hill and Bunker Hill.
There's all kinds of
And
stuff.
I think there was some sort of kerfuffle with boats on Lake Champlain.
Correct. One thing, Nord, you can look at is depending on if you're okay with strips or not. It'll depend on the pack, but for saving a fair amount of money, you can get it's like $8 or something for 50 10 mil AWI on Old Glory. So a bunch
Well,
of
there you
them
go.
are on strips, which I kind of like at that scale. But yeah, if you enjoy strips, outstanding. If not, just go with the most of the time when you get packs that say, excuse me, skirmishing or such, they won't be on strips, and then none of the like artillery or cavalry will be on strips either. I think the cavalry are usually like $13 for 30 guys or something. So, yeah,
Yeah, Chris Long strippers is what we're talking about.
correct. Yep, Wolfgang comes in with cowpins. Very big one.
Yeah.
Nobody has mentioned Trenton yet, which makes me sad, but that's okay. I was just
And-
kind of waiting for everybody.
Is it Kings Mountain? It's right there around Cowpens as well.
Oh, nice. Irregular's fantastic too. Irregular's wonderful. Ian is a delightful individual. I buy stuff from Ian altogether too much for shipping it over the pond, but that's okay. They did separate. I don't know if you saw that. They separated Irregular's 2 and 6 mil from the rest of their lines. They're done through a different website and company now.
Interesting.
But yeah.
Germantown and Brandywine were streets in the subdivision I lived in San Antonio.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Charles says no more 2 millimeter for him. Well, what
2
are you
mil's
gonna eat
outstanding, Charles.
what are you gonna eat your Chinese food on?
Well- Fucking Polly.
Yep. Town I was born in housed the Liberty Bell when the British occupied Philadelphia. The Hessian prisoners in the north were housed there as well.
Nice. That said, I'll be remiss to not mention the Battle of St. Louis. on May 26, 1780. But yeah,
Regiment of Free Black Soldiers from Haiti, then the French colony of Saint Dominique, fought in the siege of Savannah in 1779.
Mm-hmm.
Charles, I know you don't mean that, buddy.
Just a random fact that has no connection to anything. I don't know. It sounds like it's connected about what we're talking about, 1779. So, one thing I was gonna show folks. Donna picked this map up for me at a garage sale. It is a copy of the map drawn by the Lewis and Clark expedition of their travels, starting in St. Louis and making their way across over to the Pacific Ocean in Oregon. It's the original is actually in the Library of Congress.
Nice.
She picked that up for me for 50 cents.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Finn.
So it's on high grade paper. They put these wooden slats on the top and the bottom, and then put some rope to hang on.
That's
So,
badass.
Yeah. You know, being that I love maps, especially those of historic value.
Hell yeah.
Um,
What happened, Charles? What happened, buddy? Talk to me.
he doesn't like 2mm apparently.
He loves 2 mil. He has a bunch of it. What happened, Charles? Show us on Reese where the 2mm touched you.
Right. I need to get around to finding some paintings of 18th and 19th century armies to display. I'm sure they can be found out on the interwebs.
Don Troiani. One thing that I've used a lot of for that sort of thing is public access Google Images. You set the resolution to really high, and then you have it printed at Walgreens or wherever it is. It tends to work pretty well. So I got my Horatio Nelson painting that hangs over my fireplace,
There you go.
since that's obviously a thing.
Very tempted to order the Middle Earth map from Weta Workshop. That'd be cool too. So yeah, this weekend got some gaming going on. We're playing Chain of Command. I think we're going to be doing version 2.
Nice.
Let everybody know how that plays out over at my buddy Joel's. He and my buddy Copeland and Joel's son Ian are all going to be there along with me, and we're doing World War II, September 1939, Germans
nice.
versus the Poles, but the Poles are being which word I'm looking for? Supported by the Quar.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So it's going to be weird World War II. It's going to be fun. All in 15mm. I'll get, if I remember to, I'll get plenty of photos and
Nice.
share them. So, but yeah, a lot of.
I received my email in February from Guy Bowers, and I have received nothing since. So,
About what?
asking which bundle I would like, and I said I'd like the Chain of Command bundle.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be on its way. eventually.
Yeah, but will it get to the right place?
I had to go. I would send an email.
I will in a little bit, or
Yeah,
next week or so, before
It's
the
because
gonna
end of the
show up at Reese's old house.
yeah. Uh, I went in. I had to go into GMT and update my address for Silent Victory whenever it decides it wants to ship. So P500. It is still in final art, whatever the hell that means.
You've got a really indecisive painter working on something.
Apparently. Um, Chris Long says, "Guy is a good guy, but busy. But busy. Email him."
Oh no, I
Yeah.
will.
And he says, "Reese, I feel obliged to inform you that I have dispatched my pirate fleet to intercept that order." Yar.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to drag Guy through the mud or anything else. I don't know the man. I cannot speak for the man, but
Yeah. And then we got J3 4th of July weekend. I'm gonna be. I think, fingers crossed. I think I'm carpooling over with Copeland, Joel, and Burke.
that'd be a fun car ride.
That one.
Yeah, as long as Copeland's not driving.
If Burke is driving, he'll go the speed limit, but no more.
Oh, I know, but
Yeah.
it's still going to be faster than what I got with Copeland.
Why does Copeland
Uh,
drive crazy slow?
It's not that he drives crazy slow. It's just we stop like every 45 minutes to an hour.
Why?
It,
To
I,
piss?
I guess I don't know. I don't know. Nord wants to know what you're working on there, Mr. Reese.
Um, positive self talk. Trying to build my character. No. I no. I just pulled some Tyranids off the shelf to paint because I need a palette cleanser, and my desk is too crazy covered with everything else to work on anything else. I'm in the middle of packing, so who knows
Again?
what? Yeah,
Still,
Where are you moving now?
to the ranch house.
Oh, okay.
So
Chris Long is testing fast movers tomorrow.
What's that all about, Chris? Is that a jet game or what?
He's probably testing the printing of the jets.
Oh, okay.
if you need a good jet game though, I got you covered, Chris.
Yep. Nord says you could have just said you were playing with yourself, and that would have sufficed.
Yeah, that's true.
He wants to know what color pattern you're using on your Tyranids.
Khaki and olive drab.
That way they can hide in the jungles.
And honestly, I think it looks sick.
It does. I think you did a very good job of getting that color set down pretty good. So I am not going to be working on anything for a while because A, everything is still over in Illinois, and B, we gotta. I currently everything that I own that is over here is residing within a box that is basically 11 feet by 11 feet, and it's along with Donna and all of her stuff and two dogs.
Nice. Minimalist.
So, um, there you go. You could do a nice camouflage pattern on their carapace and call them Ranger Nids. Chris Long is making a Kafir C2, a Mirage, a MiG-21, and a MiG-23.
Nice. Hell yeah.
So, and Telemachus bangs in with transitions.
Hit us with one, Telemachus. What's up?
So, eventually, we're going to be moving down to the basement, at which time I'll be able to get a little bit of a desk of my own again to set up my computer and monitor and a little place to do some painting. But most everything is going to be going into a storage facility until we find our own place. Telemachus has got a question. Game balance and rules misinterpretation. Have you seen games that you knew were just being played wrong and it hurts your mental pathways?
Yep.
Hello, Hexy. How you doing, sir?
Hey, Jeffy. I absolutely have Telemachus. It makes me real sad, and I tend to just walk away. Yep.
Yeah, I've seen it too, especially, and I've seen it at conventions, and it's just, guys, if you want people to play your game or play the game that you're representing, you need to A, know the game, and B, play it properly. So, but it is what it is, right? Honestly, I want Edmonton to win because screw Florida. The only good thing about Florida is Disney World and Orlando and Cape Canaveral.
I mean,
I
in
mean,
Florida,
Yeehaw
man.
Junction was kind of fun.
What's that?
I said Yeehaw Junction's kind of fun if you don't stay there too late.
Yikes.
I just want to hang out with Florida, man.
Dude, I lived in Yeehaw Junction. No, thank you. You live in Yeehaw Junction. What are you talking about?
Yeehaw Junction is about halfway between Orlando and Vero Beach and in the middle of Florida.
Yeah.
It's a interesting place.
I can imagine. It is the home of Florida man, from what I hear.
And a very entrepreneurial love bug scraper.
I don't want to know.
So the University of Florida genetically engineered this bug to kill mosquitoes and then released it upon the state of Florida and called it the love bug.
Oh, Jesus.
Because during mating season, they tend to join up, can't get loose, and then fly everywhere in giant swarms.
Wonderful.
So during love bug season, you can't go them more about 5 miles before you can't see out of your windshield. So very, enterprising young men have developed businesses where for a certain amount of money, they'll jump up and scrape your windshield every couple miles.
Good Lord.
Makes sense. That's smart. That's awesome.
It is. Yeehaw Junction has one of the best ones I've ever seen.
God. I
wish I was making this up.
Yeah. I'm with you, Hex. Once Winnipeg got knocked out by Dallas, I just stopped. Note, Nord says mental note. Avoid Florida. You can go to Florida, just don't drive during love bug season. That's all there is to it. I've been to Florida several times and had no problem. I will say the largest cockroaches I've ever seen were in Orlando. Those probably weren't cockroaches. They were probably palmetto bugs, which look like cockroaches but are, well, ginormous, like 3-4 inches in length. And when you turn the light on, they fly right at your face.
The only times I've ever been to Florida was with the Scouts, but the second time we were on an island. It's owned by the Scouts, but they told us that if we killed an iguana, because they're invasive, we would get ice cream when we got done. Right? Which, all right, done. Cool. We industrialized the slaughter of, I think, 19 iguanas over the course of 2 days.
I believe it. They're everywhere down there, South Miami and South.
And we bring them all up to this guy, and he's like, I can only give you guys one ice cream each, right? No, but okay. Like, because I was just going to go, full blown lactose intolerant goofy, right? Like, I'd be shitting for the next day and a half, but I don't care. I hadn't eaten anything refrigerated or not canned that whole week. I was going to eat like 12 ice cream sandwiches. But so we did that, and then I get back, and one of the guys was like, "Well, did he cook them for you?" What? No. Not realizing that apparently you can, essentially
Eat
grill
iguana.
iguana, roast iguana over a fire, and it tastes half decent if you put stuff on it,
Right.
which then made me very sad. See previous comment about canned food. But yeah, it was fun though. We killed the living shit out of those things. If I had known that, we would have brought like, I don't know, something or other.
Pellet gun works well.
Well, can't bring that with us, but you get the point.
Slingshot would work well, but I haven't tried it.
We tried all kinds of shit. The best thing we could find was taking like a pretty stout, stick that's about 2 or 3 inches around and maybe 3.5 or 4 foot long, and just tear assing right off after him with one guy running on one side, the other on the other side. That way, when the iguana like tries to swerve to get away from you, because that's what they do, you can just womp the shit out of them.
Actually, Florida has uh, iguana falling forecasts.
There you go.
If it gets too cold, the iguanas will go kind of into a hibernation and fall out of the trees.
That
And
was
so,
the exact opposite of the problem we were running into. But yeah,
so yeah, it's one of those things where they'll come out and say, "Well, you need to be, be heads up, keep a lookout for iguanas. It's going to get below 45 degrees tonight."
there you go. We did a lot of dumb shit that week though. Like we went shark fishing at one point in time,
On
right?
purpose.
Oh yeah, oh
Okay.
yeah. We were trying to catch anything that was reasonably large.
Did you use the tender feet?
No. So, well, the issue is some of these idiots decided, oh, we should chum prior, right?
Oh,
So they're
good
catching all
lord.
these little fish and gutting them and cutting them in half and doing whatever and throwing them back out. And it's like, hey, we're going shark fishing on the floating dock, you morons. So we're doing that. We're walking out there with these rods. It's starting to thunderstorm. So we're holding these rods over our heads as we're walking through pre-chummed water, intentionally trying to catch sharks. It was one of those like, this isn't that smart, but whatever.
Sounds like a sequel to Great Outdoors waiting to happen.
Yeah, we survived.
Nord, I don't like fishing. I like catching, but I don't like fishing. Um, so yeah, the whole process of going out and either standing on the shoreline or going out in a boat and throwing a line in and waiting, I that I don't like. Now, when we were in when we were in our canoe trip in Canada, you could put a bare hook and catch a 3 pound bass with no problem, pretty quickly too. So that I didn't mind because, as McMurray said, we were 10 days out, and after the third day, it was either dehydrated or canned. So
Yeah.
I fish a little bit.
now I wouldn't. I would like to go deep sea fishing once, just to you know see if I could get a swordfish or a marlin or something. I think that might be interesting. But yeah, just going out here and getting in one of the lakes or on the river and fishing. No, I'm good.
Nord, it's all about a bobber, a great big worm you dig out of the bottom of a leaf pile, and catfish.
I
Yeah.
caught my first
It's
walleye this summer.
wonderful.
Now I love eating walleye,
We
but they
also
are
figured out that apparently you can take bluegill to the wild bird sanctuary in St. Louis, and they like love it because it's fresh fish for them to feed to the like birds of prey.
Oh, they want you to. You can't just you don't just smuggle it in.
No, no, no. They want you to. Like
Okay.
you could donate it. So like again, down at camp where it's a 270-acre entirely privately owned lake, right? So it's 2.5 miles long and it's a filled in valley. So it's 18 million shades of bluegill habitat, right? Because
Mhm.
then there's floating docks and stuff. We used to call them nipple fish because they'll sit under the like standing docks in like the swimmers area
Yeah.
and bite you on a nipple. And they'll like bite the hairs on your leg thinking that it's vegetation. But either way, so we used to like take mosquito nets and shit and go under the dock and get them. But then also, you can just catch them and throw them in a bucket, and then somebody drives up St. Louis and they absolutely love it. It's pretty cool, which is fun because then all of a sudden you're pulling like 60 fish out in an hour or something between 2 3 guys. But
all right. We are about to see what is new and happening with Mr. Long. Looks like we got a Jagdpanther there. Y'all seeing that?
Looks
yep,
good.
Um, and then looks like a panther there. And then a couple of tigers, it looks like.
looks like a tiger and a yog tiger.
Yeah. Looking good. Looking good. I'm digging it. Um, Nord says the only time he was supposed to go deep sea fishing, it was canceled because of weather. So his grandfather, friend, and grandson, and he camped out, woke up with chicken pox on the couch. Well, that's no bueno. Both Dan and Artie asked, I'm trying to set up all my 15 and 28 millimeter figures on my table. I don't know if I have enough room, and I'm tired. It happens. It
It's a lot of
happens.
damn figures, Charles.
Yeah.
I know I couldn't set up all mine in one room.
I mean, you could, but that room would be uh, Texas Stadium.
Now there's an idea. If I could rent a football field, I might have enough terrain to put on a full 54 millimeter football field.
There you go. Yeah, and Nord says you can't help notice that that isn't a Char B1. That's fair enough.
It's already encountered the tiger.
Where?
Twice on the he Chris Long hasn't done a Char B1 yet
Oh, okay.
for his tanks.
I got you.
Oh, um, we had some weather yesterday up here. Had 3 tornado touchdowns in the Kansas City area. Luckily, no houses got damaged. Kauffman Stadium got a little bit of damage done to it, but yeah, we got lucky. We were, my office was in a tornado warning from about 2:45 until about 3:30.
Yeah, we got them today. It was good times.
Oh yeah. Uh, Nord says it isn't a Samoa S-35 either, or any of the early war British cruiser tanks. Really love the look of the early war tanks. Charles says you guys got more figures than me because I only started this about 3+ years ago. I need to catch up.
You've been working hard on that, Charles.
Yep, you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job, and that can all be blamed on us.
It happens.
Yep. Nord, he has got all kinds of periods. He's got some Napoleonics. He's got some.
Oh, you're talking about Charles.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's got a lot of orcs and goblins and whatnot. Is there a miniature or board war game that should exist but doesn't because the scale, complexity, or subject matter makes it nearly impossible to represent the way you'd want it to be?
Yep. War of the Worlds. My constant gripe. It just would not be that fun.
Hexy says yes, a tactical level Chancellorsville.
Ooh.
Chancellorsville with company counters. Jesus Christ.
That makes my head hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be down. I'd play that.
So Reese, you'll appreciate this.
Okay.
Yesterday, the transportation manager at my new job asked me what I do for fun. I said, well, I play miniature war games. I roll dice and push toy soldiers across the table. I said, oh yeah? He said, you've heard of X's and Allies? He says, oh yeah, it's a great game. He says, yeah, well, me and my buddies back in the day took a pool table, created the map on the pool table and covered in resin, and then used croupier sticks to move everything around.
That is fantastic.
That is cool.
So
my only problem is I would want multiple tables with multiple theaters.
Right. He's more of a Dungeons and Dragons guy. He turned 60 this year, so he's 5 years older than I am, but we're clicking pretty well already. So he was an airframe mechanic for the United States Air Force, working on F-15s.
Cool.
So Nord says a good series on the 7 Years' War and the French and Indian War battles.
It's not real heavy, but Bill Molyneux has his stuff out. Nord, they're fun little like half-hour games for French and Indian.
Y'all are making me do things I shouldn't do.
Like what?
Looking through different 54 millimeter manufacturers I haven't looked at in a long time to see what they've come up with lately.
Dougie Bunkhouse says billiard table makes good tabletop gaming boards. Some of my earliest games of Warhammer were on my mom's billiard table.
Yep, accurate. Same.
Used to set up my 1/72 scale IMAX ACW miniatures and battle lines, and then toss a foil ball into the air at the troops. After enough damage, I would reform the troops. There you go.
So we used to do was 54 millimeter ACW, where the cannons we took a shooter marble, and you had to come to taw and shoot the marble, a little war style. Instead of firing a cannon, we used the marble. And for any soldiers in contact, we flipped a coin. So
Nice.
Chris Long says ping pong table is still his go-to table.
I haven't played on a ping pong table since college. We have, so I'll see if I have a picture of that ACW game from college on the ping pong table with no terrain, only figures. I'll send it to Chris if I do find it.
My first gaming table was acquired from behind what was then known as Division II or Division One, Lee Summit High School. It was a wooden roller blackboard that didn't have the blackboard anymore. It was just the frame with the wood backing. And my brother came home one afternoon and said, "Hey, there's a blackboard out behind Division One. It's been there like for a week and nobody's done anything to it. It hadn't moved or anything." So at the time I was driving my stepdad's Mazda B2000 pickup. So my brother, my buddy Copeland, and I got in the truck, drove over to the high school at about 12:30 at night. Hustled it into the back of the truck and drove home with it. We then sawed the legs off of it, and boom, we had a 4-foot by 8-foot game table.
Nice.
All right.
My first one was a 4x8 sheet of plywood we found.
For the record, this was a very terrible game. It involved no terrain and way too many figures. We had a lot of fun playing it, and it only took 6 hours.
Let me bring it up here. There you go.
That's not too many figures.
Too many figures when they're in individuals, like basically fire team size squads and activated by the fire team.
Oh, good.
Hit the wrong button.
Jesus Christ.
There
It's
we go.
still a great meme.
Yeah, it is.
So we put the cards out to indicate units and then drew from a deck that had the same cards in it to vary initiative. So it was an awful game. It took forever, and we were both sick of it and sick of each other by the end of it.
What do you remember? What the name of the rules were, or
It was something that we had come up with.
Oh, okay.
It was before I had found Fistful of Lead. So
Nord wants to know if the cards won.
yeah, cards beat us.
Oh, if you could choose one unit, real, fictional, or custom designed, to include in any one game, regardless of genre or system, what would it be and why? So I've got two on my mind right now, and both are very similar. The first one is the actual mobile infantry from the book, Starship Troopers. And the other is the fighting suits in The Forever War by Joe Haldeman. That's actually a really good book. If you've never read it, I would highly recommend checking out The Forever War by Joe Haldeman. Excellent book. I just finished listening to it. It's about a 7.5, 8 hour read or listen if you do that. Hexy wants the aliens, the Marines from Aliens. Yep, those are pretty cool dudes. Um,
I'd like to field a full-size hatchet force in 54 millimeter at some point from Vietnam.
there you go.
A lot of guys.
That is a lot of guys. That's a lot of firepower.
We need a lot more Viet Cong.
Gonna
I,
need a
I
bigger
need
boat.
somebody to I need somebody to make more Viet Cong because I have all the Viet Cong they make
Fair.
and multiples of all the Viet Cong they make.
You might be screwed.
I might.
You need War Games Atlantic to design a Vietnam or a VC pack and an NVA pack. So you can just print them at double size.
Do something like that.
Facts.
They'd have to be up to my standard though, as far as scaling and stuff.
That's the nice thing. You can just make them bigger or smaller.
No, I'm talking about hands and heads and weapons and legs scaled
Oh.
with each other. I'm
Uh,
I'm real picky on that.
Well, that makes sense. You could have a very set number, or you could have more. You got this.
Wolfgang Messerschmidt says Polish Lancers Uhlans. Overall, awesome. There you go. And then Charles says Forever War, most excellent. Yeah, it is a great book. I've listened to it. I read it back. I read it a couple times back in college, and then I've listened to it like 3 or 4 times over the past year and a half to 2 years. Nord says, I'm fond of the Napoleonic Wars French cuirassiers. And Hexy says, Poniatowski. There you go. I would like. I'm thinking about. I'm drawing a complete blank. I had something on my mind and I.
Hate it when that happens.
Devil's Brigade Italian campaign. There you go. Hexy says Polish Lancers officer, I believe. Nord says I'll choose the Marine Corps, and Hexy is correct.
We're talking the entire Marine Corps, or
Well, it depends on what time frame of the Marine Corps.
just listen to a thing on John Paul Jones. That guy was cool,
He was knucking futs.
and his use of the Marines was pretty cool too.
Yeah. Straight up facts there. What have you been working on lately, McMurray?
Chewing.
What's that?
Chewing.
Chilling. There you go.
Chewing. Food.
Chewing.
Chilling, whichever. Yeah, Jeff, I saw that Operation Dragoon game. Is it actually out now and ready for purchase, or is it still coming soon? Let me check it out here. Crisis 1914, American Revolution, Hannibal. Guns of August, South Mountain, Gettysburg Solitaire. Um, 3D games in 3 different sizes, all by Dan Forney, I guess is how it's pronounced. Board Games Shop. There we go. Operation Dragoon Solitaire Travel Game, $30. There you go. Drop Zone Southern France is $75. Whew.
Went down the rabbit hole. If I was to put a World War II game on in my scale on a football field, it would represent roughly 2 miles long. That's not terrible.
Oh, you're talking about where ground scale equals
I could feel
miniature
good putting
scale.
tanks. Yeah, I could feel good putting tanks on the board.
You're gonna need more trees.
I'm gonna need a lot more trees, and then use 5-core where line of sight you can hit.
All the magnified periscopes.
I'm okay with it. Oh, it's never gonna happen, Nord, but it's a nice thought.
Not with that attitude, sucker.
Right.
I mean, I'm about to have a 5-acre backyard, so
Sounds a whole lot bigger than a football field.
yeah. But if the horses step on the tanks, that's a whole different animal too.
You're gonna have horses just wandering around your backyard.
My backyard will be a 5-acre pasture,
Oh, okay.
and I am rather fond of some of those horses. So
Fair.
Yeah, it's a quick. They've got that one, which is the quick play travel game and a solitaire game. And they also have the $75 jump game. That is Drop Zone Southern France, a detailed company level tactical game on the Allied airborne assault Operation Rugby that spearheaded the invasion of southern France on August 15th. It covers the first 2 days of airborne operations conducted by the 1st Airborne Task Force, a combined American-British Canadian airborne unit. The game is on a large 34 by 22-inch game board that details the area the paratroopers landed in a dozen miles behind landing beaches on the French Riviera. Game can be played by 2, 3, or 4 players or solitary as the Allies. So there you go.
Nord, I will build a gaming barn here in a couple months. I'm going to save money over a couple months, and then I will build it.
Telemachus wants a board game about the Red Ball Express. Get supplies through or lose the war. There you go.
I'm surprised they didn't do one about mail sorting after that one movie.
Jeff, you'll like that one. It's all about logistics. Supply.
I think there is a
lines.
Red Ball. I think there is a Red Ball Express game. It's a Euro game, but yeah. I think my unit would be okay. Somebody requested the entire Marine Corps, so I don't feel bad about saying this. Would be Trafalgar in 1-300 using the Old Glory ships.
There you go.
That would be fucking amazing.
That would be neat.
Like the first rates are like a foot long. It's incredible looking. Yeah.
Nord, it's only going to be about 10 by 24. But I am going to climate control it, run electric, and potentially put a faucet in there too.
That'd be badass.
I'm also building it on 6x6s instead of a solid foundation. So the next time I move, I can just slide a trailer under it and take it with me.
My man. Somebody is planning the fuck ahead.
Oh,
Yep.
I got graph paper.
He says you
Lord.
better add a bathroom as well.
He lives on a fucking pasture.
That's
He
what the
lives in a-
funnel on the side of the wall is for.
I was about to say he lives on a bathroom.
Right?
Like, that being said, there's also a funnel off of my back porch, so I can't blame you. It's not even a funnel, it's the bottom half, or excuse me, the top half of a fucking milk jug that I cut the bottom off of.
The number of times that I've had to use the back porch as a restroom in this house when we've had family and no access to a restroom is more than zero.
I live alone. It's just convenience. And the plumbing was there from when my uncle used to live here, and he used to break his legs and shit all the time, dirt biking. So getting up the stairs was a labor of love reserved for poops only.
Okay, Nord, that does make sense.
So, Chris Long says he's pre-ordered a new math game from the CAF coming out July. Should be interesting. The CAF brings two things to mind. One is either Canadian Air Force, or two, the Commemorative Air Force. And if he meant the Canadian Air Force, I would think you would say RCAF, or Royal Canadian Air Force, because they're still tied to England and whatnot for some damn ass reason.
Oh, I got you, Nord. No, it'd be about a 10-foot walk to the house and then right inside the house, so it wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah.
Just piss outside. Who cares?
We're talking about taking
No, he's talking about taking a dump.
Is there not a backside to this building?
there. It without giving too much away, it's on the corner of two roads. There's very little unexposed territory.
All right, then plant a bush. Should be all right. You got this, big dog.
Well, Nord, in that case, I'll have my dog yard pretty close, and I'll blame it on Leo. He's 85 minutes.
Hell yeah.
Oh, Canadian Armed Forces. Okay. That makes a little more sense there, Mr. Long. Oh. Well, hopefully when you get that built, I'll come down for the inaugural game weekend.
Absolutely.
There you go. I'll shit outside when that happens.
We will figure out where to put y'all because
you got 10 acres.
Okay, we'll put a tent up. It'll be good. So
come on, man.
Just put 2 eyelets in the walls. I'll sleep in a hammock. That's fine.
Oh, we'll put you between 2 trees.
Well, that works too.
So
That works too. It doesn't matter, man. We'll figure that out. That's easy. Potatoes. That or I'll put a cot under your gaming table. I don't give a shit.
Right.
But that'd be awesome. That's cool to hear that you're getting that up.
it's in the works. So I just said we got to figure out exactly where to put it. I think we can level enough of that section of yard that it won't be that big of a deal. So
Outstanding.
Well, if you need anybody to figure out a materials list, I know how to do it.
I do have one question for those of y'all that are handy. How would y'all run an Ethernet connection out there?
With a really long cord.
Would you
So,
trench?
so, so what I would do is I would, and I would do this with your electrical line also.
Mhm.
I would bury it
Okay.
using conduit about 6
Gotcha.
inches down.
I'll do that.
Because in Arkansas, 6 inches down should be below your frost line.
You would think that until it's not.
Will a wire
Well,
freeze?
no, what you're worried about is the buckling of the ground as it thaws and freezes and thaws,
Oh.
which could cause the conduit to break, which could cause uh, a disruption in service of the lines.
Isn't it? You said it was 10 feet away, Reese?
Put at most.
Just string it under the from eave to eave. Who gives
Yeah,
a shit?
you could do it that way too.
Accidentally decapitates one of the ranch hands while they're mowing the yard.
Yeah, exactly.
Shoo!
Assuming you don't have eaves that are like 3 feet off the ground, you'd be all right.
Yeah. I think I can trench it. It'll be all right.
Yeah, Hex, I was going to go with wireless first, but if he's already running electricity out there, you know, run it coaxially.
Yep.
That way, you're not worried about atmospheric conditions.
I like the tripwire idea, but yeah.
Use
That's
the
another.
neighbor's Wi-Fi. That's gonna be hard to do.
Yeah, the
What?
neighbor's Wi-Fi is like 4.5 miles off.
We're not too far from Roper, but I mean, getting a Wi-Fi connection across 700-800 yards is going to be difficult.
You could
Jesus,
set up
it's
you could
700 or
use
800 yards to the nearest house,
Yeah,
and you're worried about shitting behind the building?
because we're on a major highway.
Yeah. So nobody's gonna stop. Nobody knows your address.
That
Who
is
gives a shit? Just poop. That or take your shirt off before you do it, so everybody just figures you're a crazy homeless person.
But the guy who lived there before me was like, had a bunch. It's a popular place for people to turn around. So I tried going out there with a gun, and that didn't stop it. So I tried going out there in my boxers with a gun, and that didn't stop it. So I went out there buck naked with a gun, and that didn't stop it either. So best of luck.
Fuck yeah,
I mean,
dude.
it is Arkansas.
Try going out there butt naked with a boner. That'll work.
I think I'm gonna fence it and put a chain up or something.
That unnecessarily escalates, but hey, man, the only good kill is overkill, so whatever.
Yikes.
Oh man.
Oh. Hopefully this time next year, Don and I will have found a decent place with enough room for all of her hobby stuff and enough room for all of my hobby stuff, and still have guest rooms.
I mean, I'm sure McMurray could sleep with the dogs.
Yeah. Uh, Heck says we have dishes shooting wireless over the mountains to use phones and internet at our EMS stations in Back Creek Valley.
That's good to know.
And Chris Long says my wife is laughing so hard right now. Oh, we lost him. I guess he had to go. Uh, Telemachus, which mechanics work best in board war games but break down or become unwieldy in miniature war games and vice versa? Being that I am not as well versed in board games, I really don't have a good grasp on that an answer for that question. I would think hidden movement is. Which one do we want to be on, McMurray? Not that one? Maybe that one? Hello? Hello? You there, sir?
There he
is. Hey.
Sorry about that. Everything was going a little screwy on me.
My brother says stacking miniatures is way harder than with chits. Facts. So there you go. Hidden movement it can be done with miniatures. I think it's done pretty well with Two Fat Lardy's I Ain't Bit Shot Mum at the beginning of the game. With their hidden movement.
I'm right here with Jay. It's stacking is always the thing that every time somebody's like, "Oh, this game will be awesome. We could convert it over to miniatures so easily." It's like kind of, except we're stacking. So all of a sudden, just having a 1-inch hex field with 1-inch hexes or with miniatures based on 1-inch hexes goes right out the damn window. And honestly, one of the easiest places one of the easiest miniatures games to see that in is Rommel.
Yeah.
Which shares a lot of board game elements in a miniatures game. And it's right there. You're recommended to put 3 to 4-inch squares, but then you might have to have up to 6 of their bases in there, and it's like, okay, cool. Okay. So
yeah, and then you've got
yes.
the exact opposite with the lock and load games, where you've got a lot of miniature feel with the board games.
Fair, yeah. I still
Lord
need to
thinks
play.
you're having a split personality problem.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it was all kinds of weird.
Yeah. And Charles is unfortunately not going to get all of his miniatures out on the table. He remembered he had a box on top of something. He has that has a ton of 15 millimeters in it.
It's a good problem to have, Charles.
Yep. Nord says I've seen it done in miniatures where you move blinds like in a note card or something representing the unit, and then when they come within line of sight, you put the troops out.
We can always.
That's how it's done with Two Fat Lardy games.
I've seen it
well.
I've seen it done that way. I've seen a couple different variations in skirmish games where the miniatures are deployed basically anywhere in cover to take a shot, where you don't even have the blinds out there. And then, but my personal favorite is almost a random generated force that nobody really knows until one force has gone through and hit certain encounter markers.
Yeah. See, the thing is with blind markers, though, your opponent still has an idea of there's something there.
Maybe.
Right, and with the encounter markers, there could be, there might not be.
Right. Right. Which is like what I do with uh, my Battle of Endor. The each team on the rebels side have two markers that are moved around. And right, Jay, yeah, unless the blind is a decoy. But again, you still have an idea that they're either there or there. One of the two spots. Um,
And I've played in games where you have two markers for the squad,
hmm
and you don't know, and neither player knows which one is which until it's rolled for, one is checked, and then you know the other one is.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it can be done, but there's really no true hidden movement unless you can do a double blind.
Yeah, with an umpire.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the same thing in Hex Encounter, though. Like, everything we're talking about with decoys, like, cool, so you flip your counter over.
Or my favorite part of Little Wars, where he talks about how a long curtain should divide the gaming hall, and for every
Mhm.
movement phase, the curtain is moved. You look, you close the curtain, you move. Everybody moves their guys. You open the curtain.
Yep.
Oh, H.G. Wells was out there, but he had some fun game mechanics he thought up.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh.
I can think of two times, and one was a true double blind game. My brother Jay ran a Kriegspiel game for some
Civil
of
War one?
his, yeah,
That
well,
was fun.
for some of his um officer candidates in
Oh, okay.
OCS, and our buddy Eric Huck and I went out to assist him that day, and that was pretty good stuff. It, um, blue team and red team each had their own map, and then we had a central map that we had all of our information on. Um, so they would send runners to give us orders that we would plot out on the main map, and the runners weren't allowed to see it, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a really fun way, and that could be used. It's kind of a melding between a board game and a miniatures game. You could use it to um, you could use that to then generate a more tactical game
Mm-hmm.
of miniatures. And then another time, it wasn't necessarily a double blind game, but it was a game where each team had two players. One was the diplomat, and one was the military commander. And the only way that they could communicate with each other was through runners. And it was an all day affair. Uh, Jay and my brother Jay and his buddy James Earls ran that at one of the Egyptian cons down in SIU in Carbondale. That was a pretty fun uh, instance.
I can
It
imagine.
was
So,
pretty cool.
hey, Brian.
I
Hey,
would
Mutt, how you doing, buddy?
I would love to run a double blind Vietnam game.
That'd be pretty wild.
I think it'd be a ton of fun.
Definitely. Yeah, Egyptian campaign, Jay. I was not Egyptian kind of Egyptian campaign. It was a pretty good little convention down there. Oh, bonus question. Oh, man, it's getting late. Bonus question: Which game which game world would you move into if you could live there for a day and survive?
Easy, Oregon Trail.
Yeah, just don't talk bad about Terry Crews because you'll die from dysentery.
See, but I only have to live there for a day, right?
Right.
Whatever I catch, I come back with modern medical treatment.
There you go.
I
There you
mean,
go.
unless you catch dying, drowning, fording a river.
Yeah, I'm pretty good in the water. I'm not too worried about it. And
There you go.
I have skill driving a team. So
Let's see. What world would I live in? Reese, you could catch a bullet or an arrow. Yeah, he could do that now, though. So,
we did have a little bit of a range war a couple months ago. We'll leave it at that.
um,
Shots were fired. Law enforcement was involved, and I'll leave
yep,
it at that.
yep, I remember that. For
Oh.
me, either Star Wars or Star Trek, one of the two. One of the two of those is I'd be down with.
I don't think I would live in Star Wars because they're always either developing a fascist leadership structure or trying to get rid of a fascist leadership structure, and
I mean, there is that.
there's no in between.
Yeah, but it would be cool to have access to be able to tool around in Slave One or the Millennium Falcon or an X-wing.
My luck is I get stuck on a ship in hyperspace for all the entire day.
Well, there's that. Yeah. Nord said Elder Scrolls at first. He says, "No, I think there's a game that takes place at the Playboy Mansion. I choose that instead."
Leisure Suit Larry. There you go.
I was
Done.
about to say Leisure Suit Larry.
Done. That's my answer.
How many different versions of Leisure Suit Larry did they come out with?
No idea. I just remember the first one from Xbox Magazine. Way back in the day.
Now you've got me going to look this up.
But bam, there you go. That or
Let's
maybe
see.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, because that one had the better soundtrack.
Okay, there's Leisure Suit Larry in the Land of the Lounge Lizards.
I believe that's the correct one.
That was the first one.
1987.
In 1988, goes looking for love in several wrong places.
Maybe I'm
89, Leisure Suit Larry 3, Passionate Patty in Pursuit of the Pulsating Pectorals. Uh, LSL5, Passionate Patty does a little undercover work. LSL6, Shape Up or Slip Out. 96, Leisure Suit Larry, Love for Sale, as in a boat. 2004, Magna Cum Laude.
That sounds correct. That sounds like the Xbox one, isn't it?
Yes. First one
Windows,
for
PlayStation
Xbox.
2, and Xbox. Yeah, it was the first one on Xbox.
Yeah.
2009, Box Office Bust. 2018, Wet Dreams Don't Dry. And 2020, Wet Dreams Dry Twice.
There you go. There's my answer, Telemachus.
So you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 releases, plus another 3 that were done as remakes and remasters. And then there were some unreleased version. Leisure Suit Larry 4, The Missing Floppies.
Nice.
Leisure Suit Larry 8. Leisure Suit Larry Pocket Party. And Leisure Suit Larry Cocoa Butter. So, there you go.
Oh.
Minnie Wormut wants to live in the Shire.
Have you read the books?
You're right. I mean, the Shire is okay if you just stay in the Shire.
if let me look this up because I may be misremembering. The Scourging of the Shire.
That's one time.
Okay.
Just once. Just once.
And it didn't even last that long.
Yeah. No big shakes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's no Rivendell, but who wants to live in Rivendell?
Yeah.
Not me.
Lame.
Telemachus says choose the 4th age and you'll be safe in the Shire.
It's true.
I also say the Harry Potter universe as the American exchange student would be outstanding.
There you go.
I cast 4570 government.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Like, how is the Irish kid not figure this out already? Like, oh yeah, this is easy. We're done.
Well, did you forget that the only Irish character in them enjoys blowing things up?
Yeah.
Yeah, Seamus Finnegan.
Yes.
Yes.
Nord says, what house are you sorted into, McMurray? Winchester.
Yeah, exactly. I don't fucking know. Yeah.
Yeah, all 4 houses in the American school are Winchester, Colt,
Remington.
National, Remington.
Yeah.
No, let's face
House
it.
of Browning. I don't know.
It'd be Ford, Chevy, International.
General fucking Motors.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we're now
I
to
think-
the new house, Mopar.
Right. I think it was Gold on My Ear. It was either Gold on My Ear or I can't remember who the other one was back then, but they told they told the president of the United States, or the president of the United States commented on how good General Moshe Dayan was, and the premier prime minister of Israel said, "I'll trade you my general for some of your generals, General Electric, General Motors, General Dynamics."
It'll happen.
House of Nukes, where you're always guaranteed to have an exploding good time. There you go. I actually took the test, and I came up with Hufflepuff.
Yeah, Pottermore put me in Gryffindor. I don't know what to do with that.
Ryobi, Makita, DeWalt, and Milwaukee.
Yes. And we don't talk about the Cobalts.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
House Black and Decker is not a thing. The
That's-
great fallen house of Craftsman.
Oh.
R.I.P. to my homies.
I'm trying to remember who's honoring Craftsman warranties now. One of the big box stores is.
Black and Decker.
Oh, never mind.
No.
Yeah. There's whatever store carries Black and Decker shit because we just swapped something out for store credit for one.
Yeah, that's all cool and everything, Nord, but it's in New Orleans. And New Orleans might be fun to visit, but I'm not sure I want to live there. He says I got dibs on the House of the Rising Sun.
Yeah, it's a little too loud, a little too smelly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my Tyranid Prime is not going to look as good as my Hormagaunts, but that's okay.
Thank you, Telecus. I appreciate that.
The hell is a Tyranid Prime?
It looks like a giant Hormagaunt with wings.
Oh.
I don't think I get to focus, but you get the point.
It's all right.
So, well, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Been about an hour and a half. I still have to eat dinner.
Nice.
So, I want to thank everybody for showing up. I will have a feedback if we play Chain of Command version 2. I'll have feedback for everybody. He is not going to be playing 40K. He is going to be using the miniatures for another game.
Absolutely, because I don't mess with 40K, but I have discovered that I like Tyranids, so I am having some fun with them.
Yep.
Also, let me know if anybody has a bunch of Hormagaunt arms they don't need anymore. I have a plan involving gargoyles.
Gargoyles?
Another Tyranid force.
Oh,
They're
okay.
flying Tyranids.
But they have guns, and I don't like guns in my Tyranids. So I was going to swap out the arms to the big slashy arms.
Yep. So
That you got that machine that goes beep.
Yes, but it is currently packed because it's moving.
Well, that's fair.
So. All right, gentlemen. Like I said, next week, if I play version 2 over the weekend, I'll give y'all a thumbs up, thumbs down. It's going to be a thumbs up, I know. But yeah, I'll let y'all know how it goes. Hopefully, I'll have pictures to share. So, as always, until next time, we will see you on the flip side.
Later, guys. See you, Polly.